A striking encounter. In a bustling galaxy filled with diverse alien species, there existed a popular fitness center known as the Timothian Fitness Hub. This place was a melting pot of cultures, where beings of all shapes and sizes engaged in rigorous training regimens to improve their physical prowess. Among the many visitors, one figure stood out, a tall, muscular human male named Cole Anderson. Renowned across the stars for his training methods, he was a beacon of inspiration and discipline. As Cole wiped the sweat from his brow after completing a particularly intense set of gravity-enhanced squats, he surveyed the gym. His keen eyes roamed the vibrant scene before him, noting the unique physiques and energetic movements of his clients. Everything was in perfect harmony until something caught his eye. In the far corner of the gym, struggling with a set of resistance bands, was a striking humanoid alien female. With her vibrant green skin and delicate pointed ears, she appeared both ethereal and alluring. Her movements were clumsy, betraying a lack of familiarity with the resistance bands that seemed to have a will of their own. Cole felt a pull of curiosity and an urge to help her. He approached her, his confident stride radiating warmth and professionalism. "Excuse me, Miss," he said, flashing a charming smile. "I couldn't help but notice that you seem to be having some trouble with those resistance bands. Mind if I offer a few pointers?" The alien woman looked up, her emerald eyes widening in surprise. A playful glint danced in her gaze as she took in Cole's chiseled features. "Oh, sure. I'm Kylex, by the way," she replied, her voice smooth and inviting. "Cole Anderson, at your service," he replied with a wink. "Now, let's take a look at your form." As Cole guided Kylex through the proper techniques, he found himself acutely aware of her every movement. His strong hands gently adjusted her posture, and he noticed how she leaned into his touch, her soft curves pressing against his firm muscles. The air around them crackled with an energy that neither could ignore. "Oh, Mr. Anderson," she purred, her voice dripping with charm, "your hands feel so good on my body. I can only imagine what else they're capable of." Cole felt a rush of heat at her words, but tried to maintain his professionalism. "Let's focus on your form for now, Kylex. We can discuss other matters later." Despite his best intentions, the magnetic pull between them was undeniable. The training session continued, each moment filled with flirtation and unspoken desire. Kylex, playful and bold, seemed to take every opportunity to brush against him, her laughter filling the space between them. During a stretching exercise, she'd purposefully pressed her rear against Cole's groin, eliciting a stifled groan from him. "Oops, sorry," she giggled, a glint of mischief in her eyes. "I guess I just got carried away with the stretch." As the session progressed, Kylex grasped Cole's hand and placed it on her chest, just above her ample bosom. "Am I breathing correctly, Mr. Anderson? I want to make sure I'm doing it right." Cole swallowed hard, his resolve weakening under her playful gaze. "Kylex, we should keep this professional." But she leaned in closer, her lips brushing against his ear, teasing him with her whispered words. "But where's the fun in that? I think we could have a very satisfying partnership." Despite his best efforts, Cole found himself increasingly drawn to Kylex's charms. As they wrapped up their impromptu training session, her emerald eyes sparkled with mischief. "Actually, I was wondering if you might be willing to come to my place sometime for a private session. I have a home gym, and I could really use some one-on-one attention." Cole's heart skipped a beat at the suggestion, his mind racing with the possibilities. "I'd be honored, Kylex. Just name the time and place." They exchanged contact information, a palpable tension hanging in the air as they parted ways. Cole couldn't shake the feeling that something special was blossoming between them, and he was eager to explore this new connection. As he left the gym, he felt a surge of excitement, imagining the thrilling adventures that lay ahead. Across the gym, Kylex's best friend, Rexia, watched the exchange with a knowing smirk. As Kylex approached her, Rexia giggled and nudged her playfully. "Look at you, snagging a private session with the hottest human trainer in the galaxy. I've heard stories about their stamina and virility. Kylex blushed, her cheeks turning a deeper shade of green. Oh hush, it's not like that. I just want to improve my technique. Rexia rolled her eyes, unconvinced. Sure, and I'm the queen of Inth. Just promise me you'll dish all the juicy details after your little workout session. The two friends laughed and continued their workout, but Kylex's thoughts remained fixated on Cole and the exciting possibilities that lay ahead. As night fell, Kylex paced around her luxurious living room, her heart heavy with disappointment. Cole had just called to cancel their private training session, citing an emergency at the gym that required his immediate attention. A twinge of rejection stung her, making her wonder if he was having second thoughts about their budding connection. Noticing her distress, Rexia, who had been numbing on the plush sofa, perked up. "What's wrong, Kay? Did your hunky human trainer stand you up?" Kylex sighed, flopping down beside her. He had an emergency at the gym, but what if it's just an excuse? What if he's not interested in me after all? "Please," Rexia scoffed. "Have you seen the way he looks at you? That man is thirstier than an Intamin sandworm in the desert. He's probably just being responsible, which is a good quality in a mate, if you ask me." Kylex chewed on her lower lip, contemplating Rexia's words. "Maybe you're right, but I can't just sit here and wallow in self-pity. I need to take action, show him that I'm serious about this." A mischievous grin spread across Rexia's face. "I think I have an idea. Why did you surprise him at the gym? Show up in your sexiest workout gear and offer to lend a hand with whatever emergency he's dealing with. He won't be able to resist your charms." Kylex's eyes lit up, a newfound determination sparking within her. "That's brilliant, Rexia. I'll show him that I'm not just some flirty alien girl, but a strong, capable woman who's ready to stand by his side no matter what." With purpose, Kylex changed into a skin-tight neon green workout ensemble that hugged her curves in all the right places. She applied a touch of shimmery lip gloss and ran her fingers through her long, silky hair, ensuring she looked her best. Rexia gave her an approving once-over. "Damn girl, if he doesn't fall head over heels for you after this, then he's either blind or dead." Kylex laughed, feeling a surge of confidence as she grabbed her bag and headed for the door. "Wish me luck, Rexia. I'm about to show Cole Anderson what an Intamin woman is made of." As Kylex arrived at the gym, she was greeted by a scene of chaos. Several pieces of equipment had malfunctioned, leaving a group of disgruntled alien patrons milling about, their workouts interrupted. Cole was in the middle of it all, his brow furrowed as he tried to manage the situation. "Need a hand, Mr. Anderson?" Kylex approached him with a sultry smile, her heart racing with excitement. Cole turned, his eyes widening as he took in her stunning appearance. "Kylex, what are you doing here?" "I thought you might need some assistance given the emergency," she replied, shrugging her shoulders playfully. "I'm not just a pretty face, you know. I have a degree in advanced alien technology." His face softened, a mixture of relief and admiration washing over him. "You're full of surprises, aren't you? I'd be grateful for any help you can offer." Together, they set to work, Kylex's expertise proving invaluable as they repaired the malfunctioning equipment. Their hands brushed against each other, and their bodies moved in sync, the sexual tension between them growing with every shared glance and accidental touch. Once the last piece of equipment was fixed, Cole turned to Kylex, his eyes smoldering with desire. "I can't thank you enough, Kylex. You really saved the day." Kylex stepped closer, her body nearly pressing against his. "It was my pleasure, Cole. I just wanted to show you that I'm here for you, no matter what." Unable to resist any longer, Cole pulled her into his arms, their lips crashing together in a passionate kiss. Kylex melted into his embrace, her heart racing as she felt the intensity of his desire for her. When they finally broke apart, both were breathless and flushed. Cole rested his forehead against hers, a tender smile on his face. "Kylex, I'm really attracted to you. I can't deny this connection between us." Her heart soared, joy and excitement overwhelming her. I feel the same way, Cole. I want to explore this attraction, see where it leads us. The private session. As the initial thrill of their kiss subsided, Cole's thoughts raced with the possibilities that lay ahead. How about we take this back to your place? He suggested, his voice low and filled with anticipation. I can show you some advanced techniques in that home gym of yours. Kylex's heart raced at his words, a mix of excitement and nervousness flooding her senses. I thought you'd never ask, she replied breathlessly, her emerald eyes sparkling with mischief and desire. Hand in hand, they made their way back to Kylex's luxurious apartment. The vibrant city of luminos blurred past them, but neither of them noticed the sights. All they could focus on was the electric connection that pulsed between them, a promise of passion and exploration. Once inside her apartment, Kylex led Cole to her home gym, a space filled with the latest alien fitness technology. The walls were adorned with holographic motivational quotes from famous intergalactic athletes, and the floor was covered in soft, supportive mats that invited movement and intensity. "Welcome to my sanctuary," Kylex declared, her voice laced with a playful tone as she gestured around. "I hope you're ready to work hard." Cole chuckled, his eyes scanning the room, before settling on Kylex. "I'm always ready to work hard, especially when the motivation is as captivating as you are." With a soft laugh, Kylex stepped closer, her heart fluttering at his compliment. "How about we start with some warm-ups? I want to make sure we're both at our peak performance tonight." As they began their workout, the atmosphere shifted from playful to heated. Cole guided Kylex through a series of stretches, his hands lingering just a bit too long on her hips and shoulders. Each time he adjusted her form, a shiver ran down her spine, igniting the fire that simmered just below the surface. "Focus on your breathing, Kylex," he instructed, his voice steady yet warm. "You need to channel that energy." She nodded, trying to keep her mind on the exercises. The proximity of his body was intoxicating. As they transitioned into a series of resistance training exercises, Kylex found herself looking up at Cole more often than necessary. His dedication to his craft was evident, and the sight of him in motion, muscles flexing, sweat glistening on his skin, made her heart race. In a moment of boldness, Kylex decided to up the ante. While performing a set of squats, she deliberately exaggerated her movements, allowing her body to brush against Cole's. Each touch sent waves of heat coursing through her. She felt liberated, powerful, and more alive than ever. "Are you trying to distract me?" Cole asked, his voice low and teasing as he caught her gaze. The challenge in his eyes stirred something primal within her. "Maybe I am," she replied with a cheeky grin, playfully flicking her hair over her shoulder. "Is it working?" "I think it's very effective," he admitted, his breath catching slightly. "But remember, this is a workout, not a dance party." "Who says it can't be both?" Kylex retorted, a mischievous sparkle in her eye. As their playful banter continued, the lines between training and flirtation began to blur. Kylex, emboldened by the connection they had established, found herself moving closer, stealing fleeting touches and glances. The air around them was thick with tension, each interaction charged with the promise of something deeper. They moved to the floor for core exercises, and as Kylex lay back for sit-ups, she felt Cole's hands gently holding her feet in place. She looked up at him, a playful glint in her eyes, and decided to turn the situation into a challenge. "Let's see who can do more sit-ups," she proposed, her tone competitive yet inviting. "Loser buys dinner." "Challenge accepted," Cole replied, a determined smile on his face. They began their set, each rep bringing them closer, their breaths mingling in the heated atmosphere. As they worked, Kylex decided to have a little fun. With each sit-up, she allowed her legs to brush against Cole's body, feeling his warmth radiate against her skin. "Come on, Mr. Anderson, is that all you've got?" she taunted, her laughter ringing through the gym. Cole smirked, undeterred. "You're not the only one who can play games, Kylex." With a sudden burst of energy, he pulled her back up after one of her reps, leaning in close. "How about a little break?" he suggested, his eyes darkening with intent. Kylex felt her breath hitch in her throat as his lips hovered just inches away from hers. The world around them faded into a blur as their mouths crashed together in a fierce kiss. It was electric, each touch igniting a fire that threatened to consume them both. "Wow," Kylex gasped, pulling back momentarily to catch her breath. "I didn't see that coming." "Neither did I," Cole admitted, running a hand through his hair, a mixture of surprise and desire flickering in his eyes. "But it felt right." Kylex grinned, her heart racing. "Then let's not waste any more time. I want to explore this connection." With that, they found themselves tumbling into the heart of Kylex's home gym, the sleek equipment and motivational posters forgotten as they succumbed to their growing desire. Their bodies intertwined, a dance of passion and longing that flowed seamlessly from one movement to the next. Cole's hands roamed over her body, mapping every curve, every soft edge that made her unique. Kylex's skin tingled under his touch, and she lost herself in the sensation of being wanted. As they kissed, she wrapped her legs around his waist, pulling him closer, deepening their connection. "Show me, Cole," she whispered, her voice barely above a breath as their foreheads pressed together. "Show me everything." With a low growl, Cole guided her toward a soft mat where they could fully embrace their passion without hesitation. The room was filled with the sounds of their mingled laughter, soft gasps, and whispered words of encouragement, each noise fueling the fire between them. They spent what felt like hours exploring each other, the world outside fading into nothingness. Every caress, every kiss was a promise of more to come. Cole's lips traced down Kylex's neck, igniting every nerve ending in her body, while her fingers tangled in his hair, pulling him closer. Eventually, they collapsed onto the mat, breathless and entangled. "I didn't know training could be so intense," Kylex said, her voice laced with satisfaction and amusement. Cole chuckled, his chest rising and falling rapidly. "I think we might need to make this a regular part of our workout routine." Kylex smiled, the warmth of his presence enveloping her. "I like the sound of that. But remember, it's not just about the training. We need to communicate about this, whatever this is." "Agreed," he replied, his expression growing serious. "I don't want to rush things, but I also don't want to hold back. There's something special between us, and I want to explore it fully." As they lay there, wrapped in each other's arms, the bond between them deepened. Both were aware that this was just the beginning of an adventure unlike anything they had experienced before, one filled with passion, laughter, and endless possibilities. Outside, the galaxy continued to turn, but within the walls of that home gym, they had created their own world, a space where anything was possible. And as they drifted into a comfortable silence, both Cole and Kylex knew that they had embarked on a journey that would change their lives forever. The excitement of the unknown hung in the air, a reminder that the adventure had only just begun. With the Intergalactic fitness competition on the horizon, they would face new challenges, test their limits, and discover just how far their bond could stretch in the face of adversity. As Kylex nestled closer to Cole, she couldn't shake the feeling that their connection would only grow stronger from here, weaving a tapestry of shared dreams and ambitions, bringing them together in ways they had yet to imagine. With a soft sigh, she whispered, "Let's see where this takes us." And as Cole tightened his embrace, he couldn't help but agree, their futures intertwined like the very galaxies they hailed from. The Intergalactic Challenge. The days that followed their passionate rendezvous were a whirlwind of excitement and anticipation. Cole and Kylex immersed themselves in their training regimen, each session igniting the fiery chemistry that had blossomed between them. They were no longer just a human trainer and an alien student. They had transformed into partners, pushing each other to new heights both physically and emotionally. With the Intergalactic fitness competition drawing near, the stakes were higher than ever. This event was renowned throughout the galaxy, attracting the most formidable athletes from countless species, each eager to showcase their unique abilities. For Cole and Kylex, it was more than just a competition. It was a chance to prove their bond, their strength, and their commitment to one another. As they trained rigorously, Kylex couldn't shake the nagging thought that their relationship was intertwined with the competition. While Cole was dedicated to their physical performance, Kylex yearned for emotional connection. She wanted to know if he saw a future for them beyond the gym and the upcoming contest. One evening, as they finished a particularly grueling workout, Kylex decided it was time to voice her concerns. They were sitting on a bench in the gym, their bodies glistening with sweat and fatigue. She turned to Cole, her emerald eyes searching his for answers. "Cole, can we talk?" she began, her tone serious yet soft. "Of course," he replied, wiping his brow with a towel. "What's on your mind?" Kylex hesitated, gathering her thoughts. "I know we're both focused on the competition, but I can't help but feel that sometimes you're more invested in our training than in us." Cole looked taken aback, his brow furrowing. "Kylex, that's not how I feel at all. I care about you deeply. The competition is just a way for us to showcase what we can achieve together." "But what happens after?" she pressed, her voice tinged with vulnerability. "Will we go back to just being trainer and student? I want to know if you see a future for us beyond this." Cole paused, the weight of her words settling in. "I do, Kylex. I want this to be the beginning of something amazing between us. But I also know that we have to focus on the competition right now. It's a big deal, not just for us, but for everyone we're representing." She sighed, her heart racing with uncertainty. "I get that, I really do. But I just want us to communicate about it. I don't want to lose what we've built because we're too focused on the competition." "Agreed," Cole said, his voice earnest. "Let's promise to check in with each other, no matter what happens. We'll make time for each other outside of training, I promise." Feeling reassured, Kylex smiled, a weight lifting off her shoulders. "Thank you, I really appreciate that." With the conversation behind them, they returned to their rigorous training schedule. Each day brought new challenges and opportunities for growth. Their workouts were intense, pushing them to the limits of their endurance and strength. Kylex found herself reveling in the way Cole motivated her, his encouraging words fueling her determination. As the competition drew closer, they began to implement strategic training sessions that included a mix of agility, strength, and endurance exercises tailored to showcase their individual skills. The gym was filled with the sounds of their effort, weights clanging, Kylex's laughter, and the rhythmic beats of intergalactic music. One afternoon, as they were working on agility drills, Cole proposed a new exercise to improve their synchronization. "Let's try a partner obstacle course," he suggested, his eyes glinting with enthusiasm. "It'll be fun, and will also help us learn how to work together as a team." "Sounds great," Kylex exclaimed, her excitement palpable. "What do you have in mind?" Cole explained the layout, envisioning a series of challenges that would require them to support and rely on each other. There would be hurdles to jump over, balance beams to traverse, and even a few tactical maneuvers that would test their reflexes and teamwork. As they set up the course, Kylex couldn't help but feel a rush of adrenaline. The friendly competition added an exhilarating edge to their training. They took turns running the course, cheering each other on, and laughing at their occasional missteps. With every challenge they faced, their bond deepened, turning what could have been a stressful training session into a joyful experience. During one of their runs, Kylex stumbled over a hurdle, her foot catching awkwardly. Instantly, Cole was at her side, concern etched across his features. "Are you okay?" he asked, his voice filled with worry. "I'm fine," she assured him, brushing off the incident with a grin. "Just testing your reflexes." He chuckled, shaking his head. "You're unbelievable." They continued their runs, but Kylex was aware that with each challenge, the excitement of the competition loomed larger. As they approached the final days of training, she could sense the pressure building, not just for herself, but for Cole as well. The night before the competition, As they relaxed in Kylek's apartment, she sensed a mix of nerves and anticipation. They sprawled on her couch, their bodies entwined, the soft glow of the city lights filtering through the windows. "Cole," Kylex began hesitantly, "are you ready for tomorrow? I mean, really ready?" He looked at her, his expression serious. "I am, but I'm also nervous. This means a lot to both of us. It's our chance to show the galaxy what we can do together." Kylex nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. "I know, but no matter what happens, I want you to remember that this isn't just about winning. It's about us, our connection, and what we've built together." "I promise I won't lose sight of that," Cole replied, his voice steady. "You mean more to me than any competition." With their minds settled, they spent the rest of the evening reminiscing about their training sessions, sharing dreams of the future, and basking in the warmth of each other's presence. As the hours slipped away, they fell into a comfortable silence, each lost in their thoughts. The morning of the competition arrived with an air of excitement and tension. Kylex woke up early, her heart pounding as she prepared for the day ahead. She dressed in her most vibrant workout gear, a neon green ensemble that hugged her curves perfectly, a testament to her confidence and readiness. When she arrived at the competition venue, the atmosphere was electric. Spectators from countless worlds had gathered to witness the event, their excitement palpable. Colorful banners waved in the breeze, and the sounds of various species mingled in the air, creating a cacophony of energy. Cole found Kylex among the throngs of competitors, and their eyes locked, sparking a renewed sense of determination. "Ready to show them what we're made of?" he asked, a confident grin spreading across his face. "Absolutely," Kylex replied, her heart swelling with pride. "Let's make this a performance they'll never forget." As they stepped into the arena, the crowd erupted in cheers, and both felt a rush of adrenaline course through their veins. They took their positions, side by side, hearts synchronized with the rhythm of the impending challenge. "On three," Cole said, his voice steady as he held her hand. "1, 2, 3. They launched into their first challenge, the sound of their footsteps pounding against the ground echoing through the arena. With every obstacle they faced, their connection became a powerful force, propelling them forward. With each successful maneuver, they proved not just their physical prowess, but also the strength of their bond. The cheers from the audience fueled their performance, each cheer a reminder that they were not just competing for themselves, but for each other. As they reached the final stretch of the course, Cole and Kylex exchanged a determined glance. They were exhausted, but they were also exhilarated. Together, they crossed the finish line, collapsing into each other's arms, laughter spilling from their lips. "We did it," Kylex exclaimed, her eyes shining with joy. Cole's arms wrapped tightly around her, their breaths mingling as they reveled in their accomplishment. "I knew we could." But as they caught their breath, they were unaware that this was just the beginning of a much larger journey. The competition had opened the door to new challenges, tests of character, and the true strength of their relationship. Little did they know that the obstacles they faced would only strengthen their bond, setting the stage for the adventures that lay ahead in a galaxy that awaited their courage, resilience, and love. Trials of the heart. The excitement of the Intergalactic fitness competition lingered in the air long after the final event concluded. As Cole and Kylex celebrated their impressive performance, they could hardly believe the journey they had embarked upon together. The cheers of the crowd still echoed in their ears, and the vibrant atmosphere of the arena was intoxicating. They had showcased not only their athletic prowess, but also the depth of their bond, captivating everyone present. As they made their way out of the arena, Kylex couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. "We did it, Cole. We showed them what we're capable of," she exclaimed, her emerald eyes sparkling with excitement. Cole smiled back, his heart swelling with affection. "And we did it together. I couldn't have asked for a better partner." Their moment of triumph, however, was short-lived. As they stepped outside into the bustling streets of Luminos, the weight of reality began to settle upon them. The aftermath of the competition was filled with interviews, press events, and a whirlwind of attention from fans and fellow competitors. While it was thrilling, it also pulled them in different directions, threatening the intimacy they had fostered during their training. "Cole, we need to stick together through all this," Kylek said, her voice laced with concern as they navigated the chaos. "I don't want to lose what we've built because of all the distractions." "I know," he replied, squeezing her hand. "Let's make sure we carve out time for just us amidst all the noise. We've worked too hard for this connection." But as days turned into weeks, the demands of their newfound fame began to strain their relationship. Cole was inundated with requests for interviews and sponsorships, while Kayaks found herself in high demand for promotional events, showcasing her skills in front of cameras and eager fans. The time they once dedicated to each other became fragmented, overshadowed by the expectations placed upon them. One evening, after a particularly grueling day of appearances, Kylek sat in her apartment, staring out at the vibrant city lights. She felt a growing sense of unease, a nagging feeling that their connection was slipping away, lost in the chaos of their lives. Just as she was about to reach out to Cole, her communication device buzzed with a message. It was Rexia, her best friend. "Kay, we need to talk. Meet me at the cafe." Curious and slightly apprehensive, Kylex quickly dressed and headed out. The cafe was a favorite spot among their friends, a cozy nook adorned with alien plants that thrived in the artificial light. When she arrived, Rexia was already seated at their usual table, her expression a mix of excitement and concern. "Hey, you look stressed," Rexia greeted her, pulling Kylex into a hug. "What's going on?" Kylex sighed as she settled into her chair. "It's just things with Cole. Ever since the competition, it feels like we're drifting apart. We're so busy with everything that I barely get to see him." Rexia frowned, her eyes filled with sympathy. "I can see how that would be tough. It's hard to maintain a relationship when you're both being pulled in different directions." "I love him, Rexia," Kylex confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. "But I'm starting to worry that all this fame is changing him, or maybe it's changing us." "Have you talked to him about how you're feeling?" Rexia asked gently. "Not really," Kylex admitted, biting her lip. "I don't want to add more pressure. He's got so much on his plate already." Rexia leaned forward, her expression earnest. "Kay, you can't bottle this up. Communication is key in any relationship. If you don't express how you feel, you might end up resenting him, and that's not fair to either of you." Taking a deep breath, Kylex nodded. "You're right. I'll talk to him. I just hope we can find a way to reconnect." As they chatted, Kylex felt a renewed sense of determination. She would not let their bond wither away. Later that evening, she sent Cole a message suggesting they meet for dinner, just the two of them, away from the noise and distractions. When they sat across from each other at a cozy restaurant, a subtle tension hung in the air. Kylex took a moment to admire Cole, his strong features, the way he carried himself with confidence, but beneath that exterior, she could sense the pressure he was under. "Thanks for meeting me," she began, her voice steady yet gentle. "I've been thinking a lot about us lately." Cole looked at her, his expression serious. "I've been thinking about us too. It feels like we're both pulled in a million directions. I miss the time we spent together, just training and being ourselves," Kylex confessed, her heart racing. "Sometimes I feel like we're more like partners in a competition than partners in life." Cole's brow furrowed as he processed her words. "I didn't realize you felt that way. I've been so focused on the opportunities we've been given that I may have lost sight of what truly matters, us. I want us to succeed in our careers, but I also want to nurture our relationship," Kylex said, her voice firm yet vulnerable. "I don't want to lose you in this whirlwind of fame." Cole reached across the table, taking her hand in his. "You won't lose me, Kylex, I promise. Let's find a balance together. I want to make this work. You mean everything to me." Feeling a surge of relief, Kylex smiled. "Thank you, Cole. I needed to hear that." With their conversation open and honest, the weight of their unspoken fears lifted. They spent the rest of the evening reminiscing about their training days, laughing over shared memories, and discussing their dreams for the future. As they left the restaurant, the moon illuminated their path, casting a soft glow over Luminos. Kylex felt lighter, more connected to Cole than she had in weeks. "Let's plan a weekend getaway," she suggested, her excitement bubbling to the surface. "Just the two of us, somewhere quiet." Cole's eyes lit up at the idea. "That sounds perfect. We can escape all of this for a little while and just be us again." "Exactly. We can go hiking, explore some natural landscapes, just recharge," Kylex proposed, her heart fluttering at the thought. Over the next few days, they organized their mini vacation, carefully choosing a location that promised tranquility away from the bustling city life. The anticipation built as the day approached, and Kylex felt invigorated by the idea of reconnecting with Cole. When the weekend finally arrived, they set off in Cole's hovercraft, the wind tussling their hair as they sped through the galaxy. As they traveled, Kylex looked out at the stunning view, a tapestry of stars twinkling against the vast expanse of space, reminding her of the infinite possibilities that lay ahead for them both. They arrived at a picturesque planet known for its lush forests and serene landscapes. The air was crisp and clean, and Kylex breathed deeply, feeling the tension of their recent busy lives begin to melt away. They checked into a charming cabin nestled among the trees, the perfect blend of rustic charm and modern amenities. "Welcome to our sanctuary," Cole said, gesturing around as they stepped inside. Kylex grinned, her heart swelling with joy. "I love it. This is going to be amazing." They spent the first day exploring the surrounding woods, laughing as they hiked along winding trails. Cole would occasionally sneak up behind Kylex, playfully startling her, prompting bursts of laughter that echoed through the trees. As they reached a scenic overlook, they paused, taking in the breathtaking view of rolling hills and distant mountains. "It's beautiful," Kylex whispered, her heart full as she leaned into Cole's side. "It is, but it's even better with you here," he replied, wrapping an arm around her shoulders. That night, they sat by a crackling fire, the warm glow casting a comforting light around them. The stars twinkled above like a million diamonds, and the sounds of nature filled the air. Kylex leaned against Cole, feeling his warmth radiate through her. "This is perfect," she said softly. "Just what we needed." Cole turned to her, his expression sincere. "I'm glad we took this time. It reminds me of what really matters, us. We can face anything as long as we're together." With the flickering firelight reflecting in their eyes, they shared stories, dreams, and hopes for the future. Kylex felt a renewed sense of clarity wash over her as she opened up about her aspirations, her worries, and her love for him. Cole listened intently, his gaze never wavering from hers, as he promised to support her dreams just as she supported his. As the night deepened, they moved closer, the intimacy of the moment drawing them into a world of their own. Their kisses were soft at first, gradually deepening as they surrendered to the connection that had blossomed amidst challenges and triumphs. With their hearts open, they both understood that while the path ahead might be fraught with challenges, they had each other to lean on. The love they shared was a sanctuary, a safe haven amidst the chaos of their lives. The weekend flew by, filled with laughter, adventure, and profound moments of connection. As they packed up to return to Luminos, both Kylex and Cole felt invigorated, ready to face whatever awaited them. They had forged a deeper bond, a partnership rooted in love, understanding, and unwavering support. Back in the city, as they returned to their busy schedules, the challenges of their careers awaited them. Yet, they approached their responsibilities with renewed energy and purpose, knowing they could lean on each other through thick and thin. Their relationship was no longer just about passion. It had evolved into a powerful alliance, one that would guide them through the trials of life and career. And with every shared smile, every touch, they reaffirmed their commitment to nurturing the love they had fought so hard to build, a love that could weather any storm. In the heart of Luminos, as they stepped into the vibrant pulse of the city, they knew that together they could face anything. The future held infinite possibilities, and as long as they had each other, they were unstoppable. Rising tensions. As the weeks turned into months, the aftermath of the Intergalactic fitness competition continued to echo through the lives of Cole and Kylex. They had garnered significant attention for their impressive performance, but with that fame came new challenges. Opportunities and invitations flooded in from sponsors and media outlets, promising both prestige and distraction. It was exhilarating yet exhausting, and as they navigated this new world, the pressures began to mount. Kylex and Cole found themselves balancing their burgeoning careers with the depth of their relationship. They cherished the moments they shared, often recalling their weekend getaway as a bright beacon in the whirlwind of their lives. Yet, the strain of their busy schedules began to take its toll. Training sessions became shorter, and dinner dates were frequently interrupted by calls from agents and managers. It felt like they were constantly in motion, moving faster and faster, but their connection began to fray at the edges. One evening, as they prepared for a high-profile gala, Kylex stood in front of her mirror, adjusting her shimmering dress. The fabric hugged her curves perfectly, yet the excitement of the evening was overshadowed by a lingering sense of unease. She glanced over at Cole, who was busy tying his tie, a focused expression on his face. He looked dashing in his tailored suit, but there was a tension in his posture that made her heart sink. "Cole," she called out, her voice tentative. "Are you ready for tonight?" "Yeah, just about," he replied, not quite meeting her gaze as he fiddled with his tie. She took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. "I know this gala is important for our careers, but I'm starting to feel like we're losing sight of each other amidst all the glamour and the noise." He turned to face her, surprise etched on his face. "What do you mean? We're doing this together, right? This is for us." "I get that," Kylex responded, her voice growing stronger. "But I want to make sure we're still connected. It's easy to get swept up in everything. I miss our time together, our training, our moments of just being us." Cole sighed, running a hand through his hair in frustration. "I miss that too, Kylex. But we have to seize these opportunities. This is what we worked for. We can't afford to let it slip away." "I'm not saying we should ignore our careers," she countered. "I just want us to remember why we're in this together. We need to find a balance." There was a moment of silence as they both absorbed her words. Kylex watched as Cole's expression softened, his eyes reflecting understanding. "You're right," he admitted. "I don't want to lose what we have either. Let's promise to make time for each other, even if it's just a quick workout or a quiet dinner away from everything else." Kylex smiled, her heart warming at his willingness to meet her halfway. "That sounds good. I know we can do this together." With that, they finished getting ready and headed out the door, their hearts a little lighter despite the uncertainty that lay ahead. The gala was a lavish affair, filled with dignitaries, athletes, and influencers from across the galaxy. As they arrived at the venue, a stunning hall adorned with shimmering lights and exotic decorations, the atmosphere buzzed with excitement. They navigated through the throngs of guests, exchanging pleasantries and networking, but as the night wore on, Kylex could feel the pressure building. Cole was in high demand, constantly approached by sponsors and journalists eager for a moment of his time. Kylex felt herself slipping into the background, her laughter fading as she watched him charm those around him. "Cole," a voice called out, drawing his attention. It was one of the event organizers, a renowned fitness influencer named Zara. "You simply must join us for a photo op. The media is clamoring for shots of you with the top competitors." "Sure, I'll be right there," Cole replied enthusiastically, flashing Kylex an apologetic smile before hurrying off. Kylex watched him go, a pang of disappointment piercing through her. She understood the importance of the evening, but it stung to feel sidelined. She was there to support him, yet it felt like she was losing him to the very thing they had worked so hard to achieve. As she wandered through the crowd, Kylex found herself surrounded by groups of athletes, many of whom she had trained with in the past. They were engaged in conversations, laughing and celebrating their achievements. Although she tried to join in, she felt a growing sense of isolation. The bright lights, the clinking of glasses, and the sounds of celebration felt overwhelming. Eventually, she found a quiet corner of the venue, hoping to gather her thoughts. Leaning against a wall, she closed her eyes for a moment, trying to block out the noise. The weight of the evening pressed down on her, and she felt the tension of their relationship creeping back in. "Hey, Kylex." A familiar voice broke her reverie. It was Rexia, her best friend, who had spotted her from across the room. "There you are. I've been looking for you. How's it going?" "Hey, Rexia," Kylex replied, forcing a smile. "It's going. Just trying to keep up with all this." Rexia's eyes darted around the room, picking up on Kylex's discomfort. "I get it. These events can be a lot. Want to grab a drink and step outside for some fresh air?" "Yeah, I'd like that." Kylex agreed, grateful for a break from the chaos. Once outside, the cool night air enveloped them, and Kylex felt herself relax. "Thanks for coming to find me. I needed a breather," she admitted. "Of course. I could see the way you were looking at Cole," Rexia said, her tone shifting to concern. "He's been busy, huh?" "Yeah," Kylex sighed. "I know he's got to network, but I miss the way we were before all this. It feels like I'm just part of his entourage instead of his partner." Rexia nodded, her expression understanding. "It's tough, Kay, but remember, you have every right to voice how you feel. Just because you're not in the spotlight doesn't mean you don't matter. You both are in this together." Kylex felt a wave of appreciation for her friend's support. "You're right. I just need to find a way to tell him without sounding needy. I want him to know I support him, but I also need him to know how I feel. Just be honest," Rexia encouraged. "He cares about you, and I'm sure he doesn't want to lose what you love either. Relationships take work, and this is just a bump in the road." With renewed determination, Kylex returned to the gala with Rexia by her side. As they rejoined the festivities, she spotted Cole across the room, surrounded by a group of admirers. He was smiling and laughing, yet there was a flicker of concern in his eyes as he caught her gaze. As the night progressed, Kylex noticed that Cole was still preoccupied with the event, but he made an effort to steal glances her way. Each time their eyes met, it sparked a small thrill in her heart, reminding her that despite the chaos, they were still connected. Eventually, Cole broke away from the crowd and made his way over to her. "Hey, I've been looking for you," he said, his voice warm and genuine. "Are you enjoying the gala?" "It's been interesting," she replied, gauging his reaction, "but I'm glad to see you having fun." Cole frowned slightly, picking up on the tension in her voice. "Is everything okay? You seem a bit distant." Taking a deep breath, Kylex decided it was time to speak up. "I think we need to talk about what's been going on. It feels like we're both so busy with everything that I'm worried we're losing sight of what we have together." He nodded, his expression shifting to one of understanding. "I've been feeling that too. I just didn't want to bring it up while we were in the middle of everything." "Let's find a quieter spot," she suggested, leading him toward a small terrace overlooking the city. The stars twinkled above them, and the lights of luminos twinkled like distant galaxies. Once outside, Kylex turned to Cole, her heart racing. "I love seeing you succeed, Cole, but I also want to make sure we don't lose each other in the process. It's important to me that we stay connected, no matter how busy life gets." "I feel the same way," he admitted, stepping closer. "I didn't realize how much I missed our time together. The training, the laughter, everything. I don't want to lose that either." Relief washed over her, and she smiled softly. "Then let's promise to prioritize each other. We can still chase our dreams, but we can do it together." "Absolutely," Cole agreed, taking her hands in his. "From now on, we're a team in everything. No matter how busy it gets, you're my priority." In that moment, Kylex felt a renewed sense of hope. They had faced a trial, but they had come out stronger for it. The connection they shared was resilient, and as long as they communicated openly, they could weather any storm. They spent the rest of the evening hand in hand, basking in the glow of their commitment. As they returned to the gala, the noise and chaos felt less overwhelming, more manageable. They were no longer just two busy individuals trying to find their way. They were partners, facing the world together. The weeks that followed would be filled with challenges, opportunities, and moments of doubt, but Kylix and Cole had made a promise. They would fight for their connection and support each other through it all. With love as their guiding star, they were ready to face whatever lay ahead, united in purpose and heart.